Hello, everyone. Rachel Ramsey here in the NBC4i Digital Center with another episode of Columbus Business Beat. As always, joining me is Mark Summerson, managing editor of Columbus Business First, again to talk about everything happening across Central Ohio when it comes to business news. So we're going to start off with some news that we both have been covering this week, Mark. Hot chicken takeover, with everything with the closures. I know Columbus Business First heard from the founder of the brand.
Yeah.
Following all of these closures, what did he have to say?
Yeah, he wasn't sure if he wanted to chat. We got in touch with him this week after the last of the hot chicken takeovers, which was actually their first sit-down restaurant at the North Market, closed over the weekend. And he took a day or two before he finally got back to us. And it's mostly he's sad. He really put his life and soul into that. And he made a point of pointing out that if you look at their logo with the asterisks on it, that asterisk was a nod to the original chain's commitment to fair chance hiring. So he gave opportunities to people who did not have opportunities before, faced a ton of hurdles. These are folks who were previously incarcerated. They were homeless in some cases or had other factors that kept them from getting work. And that was his thing. It was a social mission as well as chicken. He wanted people to come in and support the stores, of course, but it was really about the people he was hiring, and he wanted fair equity for these folks. So he was really kind of sad about this. And, he sold it in 2021, and he did that. He thought at the time it was a good opportunity to take this brand even further and extend that policy of hiring those that wouldn't. So when we first brought the brand to Craveworthy, from its previous owner, well, actually, Untamed Brands, it was the lowest point and only days away from closing its stores. This is what Craveworthy Brands told us when they took over. So in that time, the first brand opened up a bunch of stores, 7 of them, and really spread it. But at the same time, they started cutting costs. Just small things like the utensils, some of the sides, portion sizes, even trash cans. They didn't have as many, and people were starting to notice these things. So it started to wane. And when Craveworthy Brands, which took it over last year, came in, I guess the finances were a mess. They said they were days from closing down when they took over and said that they put a lot into it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
No.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about next was the kind of the finances, because there was also news about the lawsuits against Craveworthy and some of its hot chicken takeover locations. Talk about that.
Yeah, there were 2 lawsuits that the company is still facing, $105,000 combined in unpaid rent for its Easton Town Center and its Lewis Center restaurants. Again, they were in financial trouble, and it doesn't look like Craveworthy was finalizing those rent bills for those leases, and instead of taking care of extending those leases, it just shut everything down. So at this point, it seems that the brand is dead. The company did tell us that this is something that will always be an Ohio and a Columbus, Ohio brand, but at this point, it looks gone. And who knows what's going to happen. That leaves a huge vacancy on the top floor of the North Market, but it also leaves a hole in this sort of entrepreneurism, restaurateur, Joe DeLosso's plan to open this up. He said at one point he thought about buying it back, but he wanted to move on. And he's still in the business of working with companies, helping them guide social equity and hiring people who might not have had a chance before. So at this point, you can say goodbye to Hot Chicken Takeover. There's still plenty of chicken places.
Yes.
But that mission he had is gone. And that's a real shame, because there aren't a lot of opportunities for a lot of people in this community. And he was really one of the first to say, let's get these people hired and getting them to work.
Yeah. And not only was the mission great, but also, this was such a Central Ohio staple. I remember when I would visit friends at Ohio State and hot chicken takeover was the big thing. Like, everyone absolutely loved it. It's really sad to see that it's most likely no longer going to be a thing.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see it again. If it comes back, that would be fantastic. Not sure if it ever will. Craveworthy is they're looking beyond this at this point. This looks like it'll be a loss for them. It's a loss for Central Ohio, certainly a loss for those people who did work in those stores. And that's a shame to see hundreds of people go out of work because of this.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys, again, will keep us updated on everything that's going on with those lawsuits. So I want to move on to the next story. Columbus State is starting construction on its Ohio Health Hall. So tell us more about that project.
Yeah, this is a combination of work with Ohio Health, which is, as you know, one of the largest, if not the largest, hospital system in central Ohio. This is a $66.5 million academic building that replaces basically a surface parking lot at Cleveland Avenue and Spring Street. I just drove by there on the way here, and it is a big empty parking lot. It's going to be an 80,000 square foot, 3-story building that'll go up in 2027. So planning began 2 years ago. The design was tweaked in response to feedback from the Downtown Commission, which of course has a say in everything that gets built there. They're going to finance this through $300 million voter-approved Franklin County bond issue. Ohio Health Corp funded a $25 million endowment to support faculty and staff in perpetuity. So that's going to go on for a long time. And basically, it's going to help double annual graduates for in-demand healthcare jobs. So it's, for Ohio Health, very smart to put this kind of money into it. For Columbus State, it's great to have them continuing to build and put more classrooms where they're needed, especially in a field with all of the hospitals that are opening up. With Children's Hospital, of course, Mount Carmel's opening new places. Ohio Health has got cranes up everywhere, and Ohio State's almost finished with their tower. And everybody needs healthcare workers. And if they're not going to stay in Columbus, then they're needed elsewhere in the United States. So this is one of those great projects. They've collaborated before with other institutions, including Cameron Mitchell Restaurants, and they have Mitchell Hall, where students are taught about hospitality and restaurant business. So yeah, this just carries on that tradition of getting students prepared for careers that they can go into as soon as they graduate.
And this joins other projects that Columbus State is planning, right? Because they have something else that they're kind of working on.
Yeah, they've got other projects all over the place. Remember, they had that huge training center they were going to do, but canceled that. And at the same time, not too long ago, they announced that they were going to build, with collaboration with the YMCA, a new facility on campus. Students are actually voting this week on it through the 30th to decide whether they want to pay an extra fee every semester that will help pay for this huge project that will include childcare. It'll include a facility for people who live downtown to use, as well as the students. And the YMCA is very excited about it. Columbus State is very excited about it. We'll see if the students are excited about it and they pass this, because if not, I'm not sure where those plans go.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll definitely pay attention to that. Mark, thank you so much. Of course, we'll be back here soon. Coming up next, NBC4 digital reporters David Resch and Ava Bodazar talk about their business news they've been working on. Again, that's coming up after this break. And welcome back to Columbus Business Beat. Joining me now are digital reporters David Resch and Ava Bodazar, again, to talk about everything they've been working on in Central Ohio. And of course, we always talk about food, so we're going to be talking about food in this block. So David, I want to start with you. A popular ramen restaurant, Ampersand, is closing its Short North location. A lot of people surprised by this. Why is it closing?
Yeah, so Ampersand was my favorite ramen restaurant in the Short North, but they have closed after more than 6 years of business, and it closed on September 21st. And owner Megan Ada, I had the chance to talk to her, and she told me that basically the restaurant, that location, just never bounced back after the COVID-19 pandemic. They opened in June 2019, and they were doing really, really well for those first 10 months. But then COVID hit, and then they were closed for a while, and then when they reopened, she said that they just never got their momentum back. And so they've been struggling ever since then. And so they ultimately made the decision to close.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like a lot of restaurants down, especially in that Short North area, kind of struggled bouncing back from that COVID-19 pandemic. So what's happening with the Westerville location? Because I know that opened earlier this year.
Yeah, so lucky for me and other ramen Ampersand fans, that Westerville location is open and remains open. It opened earlier this year on College Street in Westerville. And Megan emphasized to me that it's the same ramen, same restaurant vibe that all Ampersand fans know and love. So if they, love Ampersand and aren't going to be missing it, they should be taking the trek out to Westerville for sure. It's the same menu.
Okay. And I know you mentioned that you talked to her. What is she saying? Like everything is going good so far in the Westerville location?
She said the Westerville location does great. They also own Asterisk in Westerville. So, it's a family-owned business. I think they're based in Westerville. So I think also this makes logistically a lot of sense for them to be doing that. Ampersand and Asterisk, which are like across the street from each other. So It's
Okay.
very nice for them.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that's good at least that their Westerville location's still open. Just it's really sad to see another Short North
I
location
will be going to the
closing.
Westerville one. I love their ramen. It's so good.
I was going to say, I've never tried it. I love a good ramen.
It's my favorite, really. It's so good.
I've had it as well. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to try. Moving on to our next story from Ava. Another Central Ohio staple is closing. Resch's Bakery. It's East Livingston Avenue location. Ava, what is the business saying about this closure?
Not much, Rachel. So the owners have been super busy preparing to open a new location and have been hard to get in contact with. I also don't believe the bakery has posted about this on their social media or website yet, but I did talk to an employee on the phone who told me that it will close after holding its final day on September 30th, which is this upcoming Tuesday. And I think people will be really sad to see this go. The business has sat at this location since 1962, and it's really a beloved community staple. Every time we do a story about it, people have a strong reaction because they really love it.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned, I mean, the news comes as this business is opening another shop. So where is that going to be located?
So that's the good news. Resch's is preparing to open a new location in the former Dollar General on North Hamilton Road in Gahanna. And based on their Facebook posts, it seems like that location will be opening soon. They said they are in the process of completing their final inspections, but they have not publicly shared a specific opening date just yet.
So Ava, how long has Resch's been around?
So it's been at its current spot at 4061 East Livingston Avenue since 1962, as I previously mentioned, but Resch's actually first opened in a nearby building at 1029 East Livingston Avenue in 1912. So the business is 113 years old, and this will mark the second time it's relocated since it's been open.
Okay, and I was going to say, I've never had Resch's, but I know that people like it. Yeah, I know.
You've never had it?
I've never had it.
I've never had it either.
No, it is like, it's a family favorite. No, I was saying that yesterday. I heard from a lot of family and friends who were like confused why the Livingston one location is closing. And then, I tried to tell them that this Gahanna one is coming. But I went to high school around there. I mean, we went all the time. It is definitely a beloved place, and their donuts are amazing.
I was going to say, I love a good donut. So, I mean, luckily,
You have to try it.
we still have the Gahanna location
Yes.
that we can
Yes.
try eventually when it opens. So now our last story, I want to go back to David. A new sushi restaurant is coming to Central
Yeah.
Ohio. So what is it and where is it opening?
Yeah, so it's a new sushi restaurant named Hokkaido, and it is opening sometime soon in Northwest Columbus on Bethel Road. But details are a little bit vague. We're not entirely sure when exactly it will be opening. But their social media has teased that it will be sometime soon.
And it looks super nice from the pictures that we have.
I know, it looks quite luxurious,
wow.
doesn't it? It's really pretty.
I
yeah,
love it.
whatever
So-
they're cooking up in there.
So what makes this new sushi restaurant different from your typical sushi spot?
Yeah, it's really interesting because it boasts itself as a revolving sushi bar. So basically that means that it will have sushi options that customers can pick from on a rotating conveyor system, assumably throughout the restaurant. But again, details are a little bit vague, so we're not exactly sure what that's going to look like. But they have been saying that there will be a conveyor system that will have different sushi options that customers can choose from.
All right. And then other than sushi, what else is going to be on the menu?
Yeah, so the menu will be all you can eat for a fixed price, and you'll have 2 hours to eat as much as you want. But in addition to that sushi, there will be soups, salads, appetizers, ramen, poke bowls, and hibachi.
Wow.
Yeah.
All you can eat sushi. That's crazy. And this isn't the first revolving sushi bar to open in Central Ohio, right?
Yeah, so if we all remember, there was another one that opened in Polaris last year called Kura Revolving Sushi Bar. And that also has a conveyor system that moves around the restaurant. They also have something really interesting. I believe they have some tablets incorporated into their ordering too. But yeah, there's that conveyor system where customers can go up, pick the sushi that they want off of the belt that's just moving throughout the entire restaurant.
I'm really excited to try out this one. And I love how it looks on the inside. It looks very different from
Very different vibes
Yes.
from Kura, yeah.
And so I want to ask a question because I always ask this anytime we talk about food. What's your guys' favorite sushi? Do you guys, Ava, do you like sushi?
Oh,
I do.
Okay.
I do like sushi. Yes.
What's your favorite sushi roll?
I'm going to be real specific at the sushi restaurant in Bexley. And its name is escaping me this minute, but they have one called an Ohio roll, and it's like fried, and it has sweet potato and cream cheese and cucumber, and it's super, super good. I think that's my favorite one I've ever
that
had.
does sound good.
I love a good sweet potato roll. I actually tried that for the first time think it was earlier this year, and I was super surprised by it because usually I always get like a spicy tuna roll or spicy salmon, like sometimes with like I forget the name of it, but they put it on top of the sushi. It makes it like crunchy. Is it tempura? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. David, what's yours?
Maybe this is basic, but I always love like a classic rainbow roll. I feel like those tend to be a little bit chunkier, and I don't know, I like it. I think it's good, and it's pretty.
Yeah.
It does look like a rainbow sometimes.
I love that. Well, guys, thank you so much joining me and talking about all the business news you're working on. Of course, we'll be back with Columbus Business First, Mark Summerson, to talk more about what they've been working on. That's coming up after this break. Welcome back to Columbus Business Beat. Mark is joining me once again to talk about everything they've been working on at Columbus Business First. So this development downtown called the Peninsula, adding another tenant to the area. It's part of its second phase of their project. So Mark, what is coming to the development?
A giant eagle, a small giant eagle, a mini giant eagle, you could call it.
A mini giant eagle.
So this is either in Franklinton or it's in downtown. We consider it downtown. It's right across the river, but technically it's Franklinton, East Franklinton, if you want to be exact. But this is the Peninsula project. They finished the first phase of it, which included the Junto office buildings, residences, etc. This is the second phase of it that they're going to put the giant eagle in. However, it's a 20,000 square foot giant eagle. They mostly build ones that are 80 to 100,000 square feet. So this is tiny. It's going to fit in that first floor of this new development. It's a 14-story tower. This will go up in the next couple of years. We talked to the CEO of Giant Eagle, who said this is really interesting for them. They want it to be extremely successful, of course, but they had to scale down their market size. And that's not something that they do very often. They build bigger and bigger. And they're actually told us this morning that they're investing $100 million across the chain to make some of their stores even better, including the one in Upper Arlington. They're going to make updates that have changed since COVID. Some things worked back then but don't work now. So they're going to update those. But yeah, the big news is another grocery store downtown, which is exciting. It's not the first. You have Charmy's downtown, and you have Toro going into one of the buildings that's going up too. So yeah, this is real exciting for people who live downtown, who they usually have to drive outside to find groceries. This is in a section of town I think it's going to do extremely well, and it'll be interesting to see how they cram all of that marketplace things into 20,000 square feet, which is about the size of 2 Trader Joe's.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that will look. And that was actually my next question with the other new grocery shops coming downtown, thinking that it'd be like beneficial to that area. So when did phase 1 of the Peninsula wrap up, and what's all included in that?
In phase 1, it's pretty much wrapped up about, I'm going to say a year ago. Again, it's the Junto, which is a boutique hotel. There are offices. A lot of folks have moved into offices down there. There's restaurants and then residences. This is going to be a continuation of that. And there'll be more buildings going up, including this tower, that will have the grocery in it. So yeah, they have really changed the look of East Franklinton or downtown across the river. And if you haven't been there recently, it's interesting to drive through. I mean, that's where COSI is. That's where the Veterans Museum is. But if you keep going in a little further, you're going to see all of this other stuff going in, and it's kind of exciting to watch that.
And I was going to ask too, because I mean, this is phase 2 of this project. Is there any word on what else is going to be moving in, or all we know is right now is just this giant eagle?
Yeah, it'll be this building and giant eagle. I'm not sure about all of the other projects involved in that one, but yeah, it's something that we're going to keep up on as well and continue to cover.
Okay, perfect. Moving on to our last story, we want to talk about the city of Gahanna has named the developers for its project in the Creekside District. So which companies are going to be a part of this?
There's 2 right now, as you mentioned, Benson Capital and Connect Real Estate. And you might know Connect Real Estate. It's Brad DeHaze, who's the developer, is working on all sorts of projects, new and old. He's the one who just put the Connect apartments up right across the street from the East Market. He's working on some stuff downtown. He's redone buildings over by Crew Stadium. He's also done a lot of just older buildings into new works, but this is going to be new. This project is humongous. It's a $100 million project. It's been in the works for years. And the first phase, they're hoping that it'll consist of mixed-use commercial development, 2 7-story buildings that will go up, including ground floor retail, office space, apartments, a hotel, restaurants. The second phase in city documents has been described as small townhomes. So if you think of kind of like a bridge park, but this will be in Gehenna. And yeah, it's a huge project. And to finally name somebody, including Benson Capital, which is going to be putting the money behind this, and then you have an experienced developer like Brad DeHaze and Connect Real Estate, it should be an interesting project to watch. It's going to take a while. It's like I said, it's been in the works for a couple of years, and it's going to be in the works for a few more.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, because I think we covered a story too, isn't there plans to revitalize Creekside Plaza, which is in that district, right?
Yeah, there are. They do have plans to do that. It didn't work out the way they wanted it fully in the first time around, and so they're going back at that as well. But yeah, you can expect a lot of cranes going up there. You can expect a lot of delays driving through that area, but the city of Gehenna says this is worth it. It's something they've wanted for a long time, and to have some experienced developers and now a capital group with money, this thing looks like it's going to go forward.
I was going to say the pictures of it look really nice. Yeah. I've been to that area one time. I think we went to a business, like something to eat down there.
Sure.
And I'm curious to see how the traffic, because it's always with construction in Central Ohio, you always wonder how the traffic's going to be. So I'm interested to see how that's going to be with the construction starting for sure.
We can hope for traffic circles.
Yes, of course.
That solves every problem.
Of course. Mark, thank you so much again for joining me on Columbus Business Beat. And the show is produced in partnership with Columbus Business First and is available to watch in multiple places. Each week, the program will premiere at 6:30 p.m. Thursday on the NBC4 Columbus streaming channel. The app is available for download on smart TVs with Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. The latest episode will also be available for watching on demand under the featured shows section. The program will be available the following Mondays for additional viewing on NBC4i.com and on NBC4's YouTube channel. Of course, for more information, you can visit NBC4i.com/stream. And for more information about Business First and how you can subscribe, go to columbusbusinessfirst.com, or you could scan that QR code that's on your screen right now. We'll see you here next week on the NBC4 Columbus streaming channel.